Hey guys, Jim here, and welcome in to another video. We're going to be taking a look at WEKnives today, and they have kind of exploded. It's almost impossible for you not to have heard of them by now. If you're involved in the knife community at all, whether it be on forums or social media, WEKnives has impregnated the community in a good way, because the quality of these knives are far beyond what you would expect. A, for the price you're paying, and B, for the stigma attached to a Chinese-made knife. We're going to be taking a look at a number of them today. These four here are standard production models, while this one is a very special little prototype. As a matter of fact, they've only posted one, maybe two pictures on their own Instagram account of this knife. And I was lucky enough to be able to wrangle it from them directly because I really dug how the whole thing looked, and I'm going to tell you right now, it is by far my favorite out of the entire group, and they're all fantastic. And the price ranges are silly. If you look in the description of the video, because I just can't memorize all this shit, I'm going to put down there the model number and what the general price is, and it's mind-blowing. It's super ridiculously expensive. Let's go through these very quickly, and then we're going to go by one and show you the different features of each of the knives and kind of give you a broad overview of the company as well. All right, so we'll start here with my personal favorite. This is the as yet unnamed prototype. You've got carbon fiber inlays into a titanium frame, and the action is just astounding. Super fast, super smooth, really nice compound grind. They're going to be doing this in M390. This one is unmarked. I'm not sure what steel this prototype is, but they said the production version that's going to be around $300 is going to have M390. And for a compound ground, machined satin, titanium frame lock, and M390, that's a steal. That's a freaking steal and a half. That's just under a 3.5 inch blade, probably 3.25 to 3.35 inch blade. So good EDC size right there. This blue handled bad boy is the 612D, 612D. Everything that WEKnives makes, you'll notice a pattern. They flip very, very fast. They're very smooth, and they do intricate machine work on all of the individual knives. This is one of their larger knives. It's about a 4-inch blade. Really sick compound grind on there. I'm really digging what they're doing with their grinds. Now, all the ones that I'm showing you here in this video will use bearings, so everything is just, I mean, they're just glass smooth. This one has an S35 VN blade. And then you've got the two-tone of the satin and the stonewash. Nice combination of finishes there. We'll get to the black and gold guy right here. Really slick finishing work on this. Very slick, very cool. And they don't cheap out on anything. I mean, all their clips are, I mean, they're contoured, they're sculpted titanium clips. They do a really, really great job. This is the 616K, 616K. This one gives you a Bowler M390 blade, two-tone in black with satin. What does it say there? Oh, this one actually has a name, the Resonance. Very slick, very cool. That's about the only thing that bugs me about WEKnives is they don't name their knives in particular. This one obviously has a name, but they go by model numbers. And if you don't memorize the number, and then each number breaks down A, B, C, and D for the different finishes they do, so you have to memorize a lot of shit to get into their knives. This one I really, really dig. They didn't have a sticker on the box. I don't know the model number. It's not a 601, although it looks very similar because of the very long fuller in the handle with the 3 holes. However, where it differs is the blade shape, the grinds, and the fact that it has these milled lines right up there at the top of the thumb ramp. So I'm not sure which model this is. However, it shouldn't be too hard for you to find online. Oh, that is a black coated all titanium frame lock. They've done this greenish gold color anodizing for the hardware. One of the cool things about WEKnives is a lot of the knives that have the crazy colored hardware, they include other hardware in a different finish that you can change out. This one does not. It's going to be based on which particular model you buy. So if you buy the black, you're going to get the goldish green as you see here. And then last but not least is the 617A, 617A. This is the only one I have here that is not a titanium frame lock. Instead, it is a G10 clad liner lock. Oh yeah. And this one has a D2 blade, black coated with the satin flats. So this will be by far the least expensive of the group, being G10, being D2. Still got that kick-ass sculpted titanium clip though, and really nice backspacer. I love how the frame drops off and exposes the backspacer with the hole for the lanyard. All right, let's start things off with my favorite. I'm just going to lay it down here and let you soak it in a little bit while I talk about WEKnives in general. Formerly WEKnives, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, W-A-Y-E-A-H knife. Was founded in the year 2000, and they're located in Guangdong, China. They're one of the largest professional manufacturers and exporters of knives and tools in China. They use CNC grinding machines, stamping machines, wire EDM, laser engraving, and they anodize their own titanium. They have their own coating equipment for the titanium. They've got about 100 employees in their facilities making fixed blades, folders, kitchen knives, sheaths, all kinds of shit. So they're kind of a big deal in China, and they're becoming a bigger deal here in the US. They've got dealers like Blade HQ, Knife Center, Blades We Love, all those are followed by .com, by the way, and a few other online retailers and a few social media retailers that don't really have websites, but they're popular on social media like Instagram. The quality that I've seen exhibited, I've had a pair of 601s for about 6 or 7 months, and I've never had a reason to complain. I had them. I don't have them anymore because my friends keep fucking taking them. I had two, and everybody fell in love with them. I never got a chance to do a video or anything. I've got a couple pictures on my Instagram, but that's about it. They're fantastic, and everybody that puts a WEKnife in their hands will tell you the same thing. It doesn't matter that in your heart you want to support American brands, in your heart you don't want to buy Chinese-made products, but we do. Our shoes, our clothing, all these various things, electronics in our homes, they're made in China, no matter how much you want to avoid it. The great thing is, when you're buying a WEKnife, you're getting really fantastic quality and the hallmarks of a custom knife. Take a look at here, for example, the pocket clip. Wonderfully sculpted titanium clip. Not an aluminum clip, not a steel clip, not a bent clip, spring clip. A fully sculpted titanium clip with custom hardware. Oh, you're worried about custom hardware? Don't be, because inside of all of their packaging will include, oh, by the way, you get a microfiber cloth, you get a card, but you'll always get a tool to open up your knife and do any basic maintenance. And this is something that, a lot of the American production knives that use proprietary hardware will not do. And they even make it where it sits on your keychain so you can't possibly lose it. Nice touch. As I mentioned before, like with the 601s, you had a different pivot, you had a different lock bar screw, and the frame screws, you could take them all out and change for an additional set they included in the packaging in a different color. So if you wanted something wild and crazy and vibrant, you had that. If you want something fairly low-key, you also had that. And I've never seen anybody do that. Look how many brands, we'll use Hinderer for example, you'll pay a staggering amount of money for a set of standoffs if you want to change out the colors or add a little bit of color, or you want to buy titanium screws. You pay a lot of money for that. WEKnives gives it to you. on a knife with M390 and titanium, carbon fiber, titanium's custom milled, and you get all that for 300 bucks? I mean, damn. A lot of these American production brands have got to wake up and smell what the Chinese are cooking. Of course, you know, then an hour later they're going to be hungry again. But you get what I'm saying. They're really forcing the Americans and everybody else to raise the bar on the quality and the value of what's being added into these incredible knives. When it comes to bang for the buck, the Chinese are kicking everybody's ass. They truly are. You know, for an American brand in a high-end production to offer a titanium frame lock for $300 with carbon fiber inlays, they would probably use a bent spring clip, which is very, very cheap to manufacture, very quick to manufacture, would probably not have a custom pivot. It would probably have something like S30V, D2, or CPM 154 steel. Nothing wrong with that steel, nothing whatsoever, but it dictates the price. When you look at someone offering for $300, M390, titanium frame lock, custom finishes, custom millwork, beautiful inlays, sculpted titanium clip, titanium backspacer, custom hardware, and a tool included to change the hardware and make adjustments, that's a fucking great value. I don't care what your preferences are, you can't ignore the fact that it's a great value. And as I said in my previous video where I was talking about another Chinese brand, value comes in different stages for different people. For the guys like me that collect predominantly high-end custom knives, where we're spending $800 to $5,000 for our everyday carry knife, $200, $300, $400 is a drop in the bucket. It's not really, you're not putting a lot of weight on the decision that you're making. However, for the vast majority of knife collectors, $200, $300, $400, $500 is a shit ton of money. And it's a knife that they want to get use out of. They want to have high quality components, but you know, sometimes they're going to forego that because of their budget. And I can tell you right now, if you put this up against other American brands or German brands that are out there in similar price points, you are always getting more bang for the buck with WEKnives. Let's take a look at some of their production pieces. Let's go back here to this blue handle one, the 612D. Very slender, very slim, very easy to carry in the pocket. There's your custom pivot. Really nice millwork in the titanium. So you've got the step down milling where it drops down, becomes smooth. And then you have all the milled lines, and it's a I don't know how to really put it into words, but there's a texture to it. And you certainly, you kind of feel it as you're holding the knife, and it kind of locks you in. It's almost like having a fully jimped knife. Blade disappears nicely into the butt of the frame. Sculpted titanium pocket clip once again. All of these have lock bar supports, the stabilizers, and they all, let's see, make sure they all do, yeah. And they all have steel lock bar inserts for steel on steel contact. Nice radius backspacer with a little bit of jimping there. Nice big lanyard hole on there as well. And the finish work on that blade is very precise. Fantastic. Belt satin finish across the tip. You've got the stonewash finish on the upper swedge, stonewash finish on the primary bevel, and then your satin flats and ricasso. May not be the most practical blade shape out of the group, but it has a very exotic look to it, a very expensive look to it. And every one of these, by the way, is sharp as shit. They do a really nice job putting their edges on. The actions are really, really fantastic. Nice and smooth. I also like the fact that if you look at the shape of the flipper tab and where it's located, it's leaning, so it's putting your finger far ahead of the pivot, which really allows that blade to rocket out of there. As far as the action goes, it feels great, and you feel a very heavy blade swinging out. This is a big blade. It's very thick, very heavy. Definitely do some damage. So that is the 612D. This one has the CPM S35 VN steel. Should be marked somewhere. There it is. I do believe. There it is. S35 VN. And we shall move on. Let's see. Let's go to the black and gold dude, man. This one's really cool looking. The 616K. This is the smallest knife out of all the ones I have here. This is just about I'd say about a 3 1/4 inch blade. Really nice looking though. Great finish work. Look at that grind. And these are all machine ground, so you have that consistent perfection from knife to knife to knife to knife. That's the precision that CNC can give you. And that's what allows them, honestly, to offer the prices that they can, because they can make more, they can produce more and sell more, so they're able to sell in a larger volume. Look at all of that milling, all the step downs. And then the milled lines. Perfect platform for this two-tone. They really took advantage of the milling they did and did a really good finish to match up to it. There's your custom 3/4 backspacer. Actually, no, that's not a 3/4 backspacer. That has about a 1/4 backspacer. Nice and short, gives you a lot of clean open area here. They've milled out pockets on the interior to further lighten it up. This is, by the way, very, very lightweight. This is a good EDC size. I don't know if this radicalized Tanto is the best choice for you for EDC. I've never had an issue carrying a Tanto. I've always been able to cut everything I've wanted to cut, but you know, you're a little bit limited if you're cutting something against a surface like that, to just having that little edge right there to do that with. You don't have a real big belly to the blade to do that, but definitely good for piercing. Definitely good for cutting down stuff that you already have in your hands, but cutting up against a counter or something, that would be a little bit more challenging. Love the overall design here. Let's show you some more close-ups. There's that custom clip. M390 steel again. Holy shit. That's a very thick tip, by the way. That's what she said. Clean and very, very well done. Make our way now over to the one that, unfortunately, I don't know the model number for. If I am able to find it, I will put it in the description down below. But it's very important to point out the value that you're getting here, because this is a titanium integral. So unlike, let's say, this knife, where you have a slab of titanium, another slab of titanium, and those are screwed into a backspacer, you're not manufacturing 3 different components. Instead, you're taking a thick block of titanium, you're machining down your shape, and you're carving out all of the material so that you can actually make a knife out of it. This is one solid piece of titanium. Very difficult to do. Yes, even with CNC, I mean, you still have to make a knife out of this thing. It's one thing to be a really, really good machinist. It's another thing to be a really good machinist and be a knife maker to make this thing work properly. Action is fantastic. Look how fast that blade comes out. This is also extremely slim, very narrow, wonderfully contoured, very comfortable in the hand all the way around. Nice deep choil here, comes back, tapers down. Got your lanyard opening back here at the butt of the frame. Come on, focus, thank you. I like the mill marks they've left in here. It's almost like a feather. Almost looks like a feather texture. Then the deep fuller all the way through the middle, tapering at the head and at the tail. Beautifully matched on the custom titanium pocket clip, where you have that feather line texture again. That fuller with the 3 holes matches with the front side. They've done an accordion style lock bar relief. I like that look, very cool. And I didn't mention it, but all these knives share the same thing. All of the contact surfaces are nicely rounded and melted, so that there are no sharp edges that your hand is going to engage. Another thing that they do well is the fact that they do jimping on their flipper tabs. Very important, especially when you have such strong detents. This one, you do have to kind of keep your finger away from the lock bar if you can, because if you hold on to it, it's damn near impossible to open. It really, really drops into that detent hole far. So just try to keep your fingers away from it, and see, it is a little bit tough. Let's take a look at that blade grind. And I love this finish. Really, really cool finish. It's a very smooth, almost glass smooth stonewash matte finish. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say stonewash, I meant to say bead blasted matte finish. And then you'll notice all of the grinds that go into making this particular profile. Very nicely done. Reinforced tip, nice big diamond on there. So even though this is a slim and slender knife, you've got one hell of a tip up there. If I can get the camera to focus. Very well done on that. Very slick. I like that. This would be it's a little heavy, again, because it's a titanium integral. It's a little bit on the heavy side. I'd say it's probably closer to 5 ounces. But because of how slim and slender it is, good EDC choice right there. And last but not least, getting into the 617A. This would be the most budget-friendly of them all. Why? Because you've got G10 instead of titanium, instead of the whole thing being titanium, and then you also have D2 for the steel. Now I do not know what the liner material is. As a matter of fact, taking a good look, what they're doing is using a tab lock. So instead of that being a full liner, where you would have a liner on both sides, this is just all G10. The entire frame is G10, and they have inset a tab lock. So I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, I'm going to assume that that is steel. It might be titanium. I don't have a magnet here, otherwise I'd be able to tell you. But I'm going to assume that's steel. And again, another knife setup with a really nice quick action. Now this is a very practical EDC style blade. Lots of belly all the way through that blade. You've got belly all the way through. Another fairly strong tip on this. Shortened harpoon. Nice two-tone finish with the machine satin against the black. Clean work on the G10. Again, the proprietary hardware that you do get the tool for included in your purchase. Sculpted titanium clip. Nice titanium backspacer. And it looks like every knife they make, except for the black and gold guy, They're all set up to work with a lanyard. Ergonomics on this are also pretty damn nice. Feels good in the hand. Just shaped really nice overall. So that is a quick overview on this range of knives. Now, while I have 5 sitting out here and they're all fantastic, realize they offer about a dozen different models, maybe more by now. And each of those models is offered in multiple different finishes. So you really have a world of choices when it comes to WEKnives. So if you're looking for something different, for something cool, you want high quality materials, you want good quality craftsmanship, this is, I gotta tell you, it's a brand that you cannot ignore. I get a lot of people that send me messages through social media, through YouTube, and they ask all the time, hey, you know what, I'm on a budget, I want to spend 300 bucks or less, what's the best choice? And you know, there are a lot of really good knives in that price range, but generally you're telling somebody you're going to get, you know, a slightly lower grade of steel or something that's not quite as expensive. You're going to sacrifice here or there on different materials or manufacturing processes. And you look at a company like WEKnives, the typical things that you would cop out on because of price. You'd have a cheap, shitty pocket clip. Well, these guys don't do that. You get cheaper quality materials. No, these guys don't do that. Well, you get a cheaper grade of steel. No, these guys give you higher grade steel, especially the models that have M390. It's just mind-blowing to me that you're getting that. Well, maybe you're not going to get a really fantastic action, but it'll work fine. These have amazing actions, every single one that I've picked up. Most of them have unique and complex grinds. Most of them have unique and exotic millwork or blade profiles. There's something about every one of them that makes them special. So if you're looking for a custom feel and a custom look in a full-on production knife that is somewhat affordable, do not ignore WEKnives. Check them out on Instagram, check them out on Blade HQ and Knife Center and Blades We Love, and see the different selections they have. And you might be surprised to find the perfect knife for you at the price that you're looking to spend. And really, that's about the best thing that we can possibly ask for. There you go, guys. That is my little spiel on WEKnives. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back to the next video because we're going to go back to high-end, collectible, custom knives as always. It was just really important to get a video like this done because I do appreciate, at times, a knife that costs a little bit less, but you know, it's still got to feel special, right? It's still got to have something to it that you just feel, wow, I got a shitload out of that knife. And I think WEKnives really covers that. So it was really important to get this video done. Thank you to everybody who's subscribing. Don't forget, I did change my Instagram name a while back, so please do follow me. It's at Jim Skelton Knives. And you can follow my knife making journey as I'm beginning now and working toward the future. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next video.